declared a gubernatorial disaster proclamation in response to the COVID-19 outbreak. And all of the village of Glendale Heights is covered by the disaster area. In light of the ongoing COVID-19 outbreak, the village president of the village of Glendale Heights has determined that an in-person meeting for the April 7, 2022 village board meeting is not practical or prudent in light of the disaster. All of the trustees of the village board participating in the April 7, 2022 village board meeting, wherever their physical location shall be verified and determined that they can hear one another and can hear all discussion and testimony during the meeting. Signed, Chaudhry M. A. Khokhar, Village President of the Village of Glendale Heights, dated April 7, 2022. I would like to call this village board meeting of Thursday, April 7, 2022 to order. Will the clerk please take the roll?
Mayor Coker?
Yes.
Trustee Schmidt?
Here.
Trustee Siddiqui?
Yes.
Trustee Light?
Yes.
Trustee Meritato?
Here.
Trustee Pojek? Trustee Schroeder?
Here.
Please stand and join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance. We will continue with a public hearing by the Mayor and Board of Trustees for the purpose of receiving oral and written comments from the public concerning the annual appropriation ordinance for the fiscal year beginning May 1st, 2022 and ending April 30th, 2023. This public hearing is now open. Is there anyone in the public that would like to make a comment regarding the annual appropriation ordinance for the fiscal years beginning May 1st, 2022 and ending April 30th, 2023?
There's nobody online or on Zoom, Mayor.
Okay. None. This public hearing is closed.
We need a motion to close the public hearing.
Okay. I need motion. Trustee Light.
Motion to
And-
close public
and-
hearing.
And
Second.
second trustee Schmidt. Roll call.
Trustee Schmidt?
Yes.
Trustee Siddiqui?
Yes.
Trustee Light?
Yes.
Trustee Meritato?
Yes.
Trustee Pojek?
Yes.
Trustee Schroeder?
Yes.
This public hearing is closed. We now move on to see petitions and community announcement. Bill Schmidt.
Thank you.
You will.
The next coffee and chat with the village president and board will be Saturday, May 7th at the Center for Senior Citizens from 10 a.m. to noon. If you are unable to attend and have any comments, suggestions, or questions for the village president or village board, please call the village president's office anytime at 630-909-5302. With the arrival of the spring season, the Village of Glendale Heights, along with the Glenside and Bloomingdale Fire Protection Districts, would like to remind residents that it is unlawful for any uncontrolled burning of landscape waste. Fires in approved containers like fire pits are allowed as long as they are at least 15 feet from any structure. For more information, please contact the Glenside Fire Protection District at 630-668-5323 or Bloomingdale Fire Protection District at 630-894-9080. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome, Mr. Smith. Trustee Siddiqui, please.
DuPage County is now offering a 2-year crisis-only
Low-Income Household Water Assistance Program. This program provides one-time assistance to prevent disconnection, restore a water connection, and helps with fees associated to your water bill. The total benefit for one household is $1,500 for water and sewer. Residents can apply through DuPage County anytime during the 2 years this program is being offered. DuPage County staff will review your water and sewer bills to determine how much needs to be paid for the required service. If you are at risk of disconnection or your service has already been disconnected, you can call 630-407-6500. Do you have unwanted or old cell phones, retired US flags, bikes, batteries, and other recyclables? Drop them off at One Stop Reuse and Recycling Depot on Saturday, April 23rd from 10 a.m. to noon. All items can be dropped off at the GH2O Aquatic Center parking lot located at 240 Civic Center Plaza. Items not accepted include hazardous waste, large appliances, and CFL bulbs. Document shredding will also be available at the event with a limit of 2 boxes per vehicle. For more information or a complete list of accepted items, please visit www.glendaleheights.org or call 630-260-6000.
Trustee Light, please.
Thank you.
Very well.
Now that spring is here, the Village of Glendale Heights would like to remind residents that many projects in and around the house may require a permit. Common projects needing a permit include work on decks, sheds, patios, re-siding of your house, and re-roofing. For a complete list of projects requiring a permit, please visit www.glendaleheights.org/community or /comdev/building permits. We don't screw that up. We would like to also remind you that do not pay your contractor until they contact community development to ensure that the work is up to code. If you're not sure if your project requires a permit or you need help applying for one, please contact the Community Development Department at 630-260-6030. Thank you.
You're welcome. Clerk Schmidt, please.
The Village of Glendale Heights is now hiring for a number of full-time, part-time, and seasonal positions at Glendale Lakes Golf Club, GH2O Aquatic Center, Public Works, and the Parks, Recreation, and Facilities Department. Positions range from laborers, lifeguards, youth program counselors, and many more. Gain valuable experience and make friends that will last a lifetime working for the Village of Glendale Heights. For more information, please visit www.glendaleheights.org/HR or contact Human Resources at 630-909-5357. Thank you.
You're welcome. Trustee Pat Maritato.
Thank you.
Deputy Mayor.
Thank you. In cooperation with the Center for Senior Citizens, the DuPage Senior Citizen Council is now offering a senior citizen handyman program for residents of DuPage County. The cost is $40 an hour for a handyman to come to your own home for most small repairs. Senior citizens must be 60 years of age or better. To contact the Director of Home Maintenance, please call the DuPage County Senior Center Council at 630-620-0804 or Ralph King at 630-546-0627. During the month of April and May, parking restrictions will be in effect from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. due to street sweeping. Color-coded no parking signs are posted in 4 different zones throughout the village. Street parking is not allowed on Mondays for the red zone, Tuesday for the blue zone, Wednesday for the green zone, and Friday for the brown zone. To find out your zone, visit visit the village website. For any questions on street sweeping program, please contact Public Works at 630-260-6040. Okay, I do have a question. Tuesday, the machine was down in my district?
Yes, it was.
Okay, because I had people calling me for cars parked on the street. Now, they came Wednesday, right? Do you know?
Yep.
Okay, did we give any tickets out to anybody on Wednesday? No, right?
We informed the chief that the sweeper was down, and you told your officers not to do any ticketing, correct?
Yeah, so then after the machine came back up, then they went out and they enforced it after that. So in the morning, the early morning, the machine was still down. Rachel was able to get the machine back up and running, and after it was back up and running, then we went out and enforced. Because we weren't gonna enforce if there was no sweeping those days.
Okay, we didn't give any tickets, right?
No.
No.
The machine was up and running on Tuesday. After you got your phone call, the machine came back up and was online. And they went out and swept on Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
So if there was violations there and officers saw the violations, tickets were issued. But they would not have been issued if the machine wasn't running.
Right, okay, thank you. Good, okay.
Trustee Pojek, please.
Arbor Day is a national celebrated observance that encourages tree planting and care. Founded by J. Sterling Morton in 1872. It is celebrated each year on the last Friday in April to coincide with the best tree planting times. This year, Illinois observes Arbor Day on Friday, April 29th. The village will be working with various community groups to plant new trees throughout the community in honor of Arbor Day. If you have any questions regarding the tree planting and care, please call 630-260-6060. Thank you.
Welcome. Trustee Schroeder, please.
Thank you, Mayor.
You will.
Join us for the annual Safety Town Easter egg hunt hosted by the Glendale Heights Police Department. Children ages 8 and under are invited to join us this Saturday, April the 9th, from 8:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. for our annual egg hunt. Pre-registration for a time slot is required and is available on the village website. For more information on the Safety Town Easter egg hunt and to pre-register, please call or visit www.glendaleheights.org. Contact Tanya Mako at 630-909-5459. Also, join us this Saturday, April the 9th, from 8:30 to 11 at the Center for Senior Citizens for our annual breakfast with the Easter Bunny. An all-you-can-eat pancake breakfast will be served and includes sausage and a beverage. Photos with the Easter Bunny will also be available. No pre-registration is required, and the event fee is paid at the door. The adults' breakfast is $5, the children's breakfast is $3, and the pictures are $2. For more information, call 630-260-6060. Thank you, Mayor.
Welcome, Mr. Schroeder. On March 15, 2022, the Government Finance Officers Association, GFOA, announced that the Village of Glendale Heights has received the GFOA's Distinguished Budget Presentation Award for its fiscal year 2021/2022 budget. The award represents a significant achievement by the Village of Glendale Heights. In order to receive the budget award, the village had to satisfy nationally recognized guidelines for effective budget presentation. This will be the 9th consecutive year that the Village of Glendale Heights has received this award. I wish to congratulate Acting Village Administrator Doug Flint, member of the executive staff, and the employees of the Finance Department for their hard work and efforts in obtaining this award. Congratulations again. Now, we have the following proclamation. Number 2, a proclamation to proclaim the month of April as Autism Awareness Month. Number 3, a proclamation to proclaim the week of April 10 to 16, 2022 as National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week. Number 4, a proclamation to proclaim the week of April 17 to 23, 2022 as National Volunteers Week. If there is no objections, I will sign these proclamations. Is there any objection?
No problem.
No. Next is Police Department recognition. Chief Pappas, please.
Thank you, Board, for this opportunity. I want to talk about some recent accomplishments that the Police Department has had. All of the board members, you guys should have your annual reports from 2021. That is also on the website for the public to view, so if they want to see everything that happened last year. But the stuff that has been happening recently, I'm going to start off with our Special Olympics Award. It is something that we hold dear to our hearts at the Police Department, so with that said, the Police Department has supported the Special Olympics for many years. Officer Rob Mullaney, Ron Kirstein, Ron Granger, and Mike Somerville were all leaders with their involvement in the Special Olympics in the 90s. Officer Pugh, Sheehan, Stoddard, and Munoz took over the reins for the department. Many officers joined with their support for these remarkable athletes at the spring and summer games, along with events such as the Polar Plunge, Top on Cop, No Shave November, and the Plane Pull, along with the Charity Golf Classic, which you guys are all involved with. This year, the department has received the coveted Flame of Hope for our steadfast involvement with Law Enforcement Torch Run for the Special Olympics. This is the highest honor of recognition any police department can receive from the Special Olympics. The Flame of Hope trophy will be presented by NESRA Superintendent of Recreation Jerry Barton, Mary Poshis from the Law Enforcement Torch Run, and our local athletes Sergio, along with his mother Marie, and Michael Pletica's mother, Mary. So if you guys can come up here, please.
Wow, what a bunch of support back in there with all my law enforcement officer friends. Good evening, Honorable Mayor, distinguished board, Chief Pappas, Chief Flint, and guests. My name is Mary Poshis, and I represent Lake 14, which is DuPage County, of the Law Enforcement Torch Run for Special Olympics. We have 21 legs throughout the state. I'm only Leg 14. I have been involved with this program almost since its inception. I am the liaison on the state committee, available to police officers to help them with certain events that they put together. What's the Law Enforcement Torch Run? Law Enforcement Torch Run is a fundraising and awareness vehicle to help deliver over 19 sports and fitness to the athletes of Special Olympics, not only here in Illinois, but worldwide. The Law Enforcement Torch Run is law enforcement's charity of choice. The best thing that these officers do when they raise funds is they provide these sports and fitness free of charge to any athlete and their family. Past few years, law enforcement worldwide raised over $56 million for Special Olympics, and that's worldwide. Each year, Special Olympics athletes, or Special Olympics Illinois, will nominate one department and one individual officer who exemplify the spirit of the sport for a most distinguished award. That's this award here. Only one officer on the department is selected each year, and the department is selected each year. The award is based on certain criteria such as dedication, fundraising goals and objectives, and longevity with the program. Well, we all know that the police officers here in Glendale Heights have been with the law enforcement torch run almost since its inception. And I'm really, really proud of that. I'm proud of this because I lived in Glendale Heights for 45 years, and as long as I've been with the program for Special Olympics, I've been involved with them too, so it's a great thing. Their support has always been consistent and unwavering, and they do all those events that the chief did mention, and I'm there for some of them, and they're pretty funny, and a lot of fun, and the athletes have a great time with them. I'm going to recite something. I want you to recite something after me. Let me win,
Let me win,
but if I cannot win,
or if I cannot win,
let me be brave in the attempt.
Let me be brave in the attempt.
That's the Special Olympics oath. We say that before the games start. We say it all the time. All the athletes know it. On behalf of the 24,000 athletes who participate ages 8 and up, and the 20,000 young athletes ages 7 and under that cannot participate yet, I'm thrilled to have this Flame of Hope Award go to the Glendale Heights Police Department, as they are so well deserving of this award, and it's about time. So. Thank you. Thank you. Does anybody have any questions for me? Because I'm full of answers. Thank you very much for your support.
Hi. Good evening. My name is Jerry Barton. I'm the superintendent at Northeast DuPage Special Recreation Association. We go by NEDRA because it's shorter. But we are an extension of 11 park districts and villages in Northeast DuPage County, including the village of Glendale Heights. We provide recreation for children and adults with disabilities who may not be able to participate in their own district's recreation programs. We thank the police department for being invited here tonight. In just a minute, I'll introduce you to a couple of Glendale Heights residents who have a strong connection to Special Olympics. And congratulations to the police department as well. It's an amazing honor. Special Olympics at NEDRA, we offer 12 sports throughout the course of the year. I'm going to introduce you to one of our athletes here tonight. But we have a great relationship with the Parks and Recreation Department in Glendale Heights. We collaborate. We serve your residents through Special Olympics and other programming throughout the course of the year. You open your doors to us so that when we need fields and facilities and want to bring a day camp to your pool, you have great staff who allow us to do that and make sure that everyone in the community is involved. And that's really what our goal is at NEDRA. Like I said, we offer 12 different Special Olympic sports through our agency. Tonight I have a few guests with me. The first person I'd like to introduce is Mary Pletica. Mary is a resident of Glendale Heights. She has an adult son who participates in Special Olympic sports. He works full-time, so he can't make it tonight, but we're thankful that his mom is here, and I'd like to invite her up to say a few words.
Well, I don't have much to say except thank you for supporting Special Olympics. Michael wouldn't be able to do all the things that he's been able to do without it, so. It's really important, especially from a financial perspective, because a lot of these sports cost a lot, like golf costs a lot of money, so it's really important that we get that support for them. Thank you.
Ma'am, can you please remove mask? We can see your face, if you don't mind. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Our other guest here tonight is Maria Sanchez, who is the mother of Sergio, who's standing right behind me. Sergio is a Special Olympics athlete, again, a resident of Glendale Heights. He's involved in Special Olympics programming, and he'd like to step forward and say a few words. And if you can hear all that clanking in the background, that is a collection of Special Olympics medals that he has collected throughout the years. So quite an accomplished athlete.
Hi, my name is Sergio Robles. I'm 21 years old. See, I've been part of Nestra for a long time.
Could you please remove your mask, if you don't mind?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. All right, my name is Sergio Robles. I'm 21 years old. I've been part of Nestra for a long time. You see, just since last November, me and my family just moved in to Glendale Heights. We used to live in Addison, Illinois. Of course, you see, recently I've been participating in Special Olympics, mostly basketball and swimming. Recently on this year, I won 2 gold medals, and I'm not allowed to go to summer games. Thank you. But I always enjoyed being part of Nestra in the Special Olympics. Thank you.
Like Sergio mentioned, he recently won 2 gold medals at a regional swim competition. So he's going to the state competition, which is at Illinois State University this summer. He'll be competing with hundreds of other athletes from around the state. Congratulations, Sergio. And we'd like to thank the police department for the invitation, and congratulations on your award. We'd like to thank Parks and Recreation for the support that we get throughout the entire year. And we thank you for your time and allowing us to be here tonight. Thank you.
Sorry, Brian, just on the control.
Keith doesn't know this yet, but his guys are gonna build a little display cabinet so everybody in the village can actually see the trophy on display. It'll be in our lobby area. I already talked to you guys about this.
Perfect.
Tasha, can you come up here? Where you at, Tasha? I want to talk about a couple cases that we've had recently. Both these cases were in the media. You might have seen them in the Daily Herald and other periodicals. We're going to recognize Tasha today for an outstanding job she did investigating an employee embezzlement case, which concluded after a 2-year investigation. Detective Politis completed numerous subpoenas and search warrants for the financial records of a business. After analyzing the financial records, Detective Politis learned that the offender had taken over $800,000 from her employer. She reviewed the findings of her investigation with the DuPage County State's Attorney's Office, and the offender was charged with 13 felonies, including the charge of continuing a financial crime enterprise. In my career, I've only seen that charge happen 3 times. It is very rare to get that, so it's a huge accomplishment. During this investigation, the owner of the company passed away. Detective Politis was more determined to find justice for the victim's family since then. Detective Politis' attention to detail, dedication, and commitment led to the criminal charges against the offender who nearly bankrupted one of our village businesses. So I want to commend Detective Politis for a job well done. Two detectives are next, but one of them's not here. So Nathan, can you please come up here? Detective Nathan Shevchik and Anna Kozak were part of this investigation. Anna is out of state today, so she unfortunately will not be here. But we'll also be recognizing the 2 detectives for a successful investigation resulting in the felony charge of aggravated discharge of a firearm stemming from the August 2021 road rage incident that occurred at Camera Park. The shooting involved the driver of one pickup truck shooting at least 4 rounds at another pickup truck while at Camera Park. 2 uninvolved vehicles, 1 occupied, were damaged due to gunfire. Detectives were able to identify the offender through witnesses, surveillance video, and the driver victim, whose victim's vehicle was also damaged due to gunfire. The investigation by the detectives revealed the shooting had been a result of a road rage incident. The detectives learned the offender had moved to Florida after the shooting. The offender was extradited and indicted on 5 felony charges for aggravated discharge of a firearm. The efforts of Detective Kozak and Detective Shevchik are a hallmark of excellent police work and dedication to keeping the Glendale Heights community safe and secure. The next couple things are basically for the whole police department. This is something that, this is a large number, so I'm just gonna read it to you. Since July 2021, our officers have brought in 47 firearms, including 3 ghost guns, into evidence. These weapons were removed from the street during a time when violence across the country has skyrocketed. Our officers are actively patrolling to reduce senseless acts of violence, such as the shooting at the heavily populated Camera Park in August. They're doing a great job on the street, and this is the initiative that we need to have here. You guys, I might talk later when we start Keith talks, but violence not only around the country, but locally is outrageous. These officers are out there to make sure that does not happen in our village, so I need to commend them for that hard work. And last but not least, I want to talk about our flock cameras. I know that has come up, and the board has really been supportive of that. So I just want to give you guys some information. The cameras were implemented in February. Since then, we have had 8 stolen auto investigations, 1 arrest on a warrant, 1 missing person investigation, and countless other investigational leads just from those cameras. So thank you for putting those up there. It's helping to make our community safe. And this is why we have the best police department in the state of Illinois. So thank you.
I know you don't hear this a lot, but from Nezra to the Special Olympics, I think we got the greatest police department in DuPage County.
Thank you, Pat.
We now go on the public of agenda items. Is there anyone in the public that would like to address this board on an agenda item? Yes.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mark Daniel. I'm an attorney that's been practicing land use law in DuPage County for almost 25 years. I represent RMK Maytag. It's a laundromat in Glenbard Shopping Center that's on the consent agenda tonight. It rounds up an important time period. Maytag has been in town for a long time. I am here tonight if there are any questions about the project. We are asking for approval of a conditional use to allow the U-Haul parking north of the laundromat as part of that business. It's an important conclusion, hopefully, to a matter that initiated with an agreement for the development of that shopping center between Glendale Heights and the developer of the center. And we've been trying to balance issues as times have changed since the development concluded. I believe this is an appropriate remedy that is good for the neighborhood, good for the business community, and good for the residents. On another note, Chief, I do want to congratulate you. It's been a pleasure after the last meeting, the last couple I've attended, to see the Special Olympics. I was employed in the Governor's Council of Health and Physical Fitness for 5 years before I went to law school, and I worked at the Department of Rehabilitation Services at the University of Illinois, primarily helping other than able-bodied athletes succeed in Illinois. And seeing this is phenomenal. It really, really looks good on your community. So thank you.
Anyone else? None? You have the consent agenda before you. Would the acting village administrator, Doug Flint, please read the consent agenda?
Okay. Mayor, I want to remove number 10 and move it to new business. Number 9, I believe we'll make that.
10, new business,
Will be number 9.
and number 9, both? Okay.
Is he talking about the consent agenda?
Yes.
Yes, we are.
I would like to remove number 5 from the consent agenda.
To old business?
Number 5.
Number 5, to old business?
Then we go to old business
Yeah,
number 1.
number 1. Right.
We're all set. Anybody else have anything? So consent agenda. 1, approval of the regular board meeting minutes of March 7th, 2022. 2, approval of the committee of the whole meeting minutes, March 17th, 2022. 3, approval of the special board meeting minutes of March 29th, 2022. 4, approval of the accounts payable listing of April 7th, 2022, in the amount of $2,210,657.45. Number 6, resolution to approve and authorize the execution of agreement between Safe Built Illinois LLC and the Village of Glendale Heights for plan review and inspection services. Number 7, resolution authorizing the issuance of a notice of award and authorizing the execution of a contract for towing services for the Village of Glendale Heights, Illinois. Number 8, resolution to approve and authorize the execution of an agreement with GovQA LLC for the Freedom of Information Act software for the Village of Glendale Heights. 9, resolution to approve and authorize the execution of the Third Amendment to the debris hauling and removal agreement by and between Marcotte Enterprises Incorporated and the Village of Glendale Heights. 11, a resolution to approve and authorize the execution of the First Amendment to the production engagement agreement for Glendale Heights Fest between the Village of Glendale Heights, Illinois, and Ron Leman, DBA Quality Concerts. Number 12, resolution authorizing the execution of a producer entertainment agreement for Glendale Heights Fest 2022 by and between Ron Leman, DBA Quality Concerts, and the Village of Glendale Heights. 13, a resolution authorizing the execution of a video screen equipment agreement for Glendale Heights Fest 2022 by and between Ron Leman, DBA Quality Concerts, and the Village of Glendale Heights. 14, motion to approve pay request number 1 to Visu Sewer for North Avenue I&I repairs project in a total amount not to exceed $220,675.50. 15 is approval of consent items.
Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda? Trustee Schmidt,
I move we adopt the consent agenda as modified.
Second.
second is trustee Light. Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Schmidt?
Yes.
Trustee Siddiqui?
Yes.
Trustee Light?
Yes.
Trustee Meritato?
Yes.
Trustee Pojek?
Yes.
Trustee Schroeder.
Yes.
The consent agenda is approved. Old business, we have one, number 5 from consent agenda.
It's old business number 1.
Old business number 1. Should we go?
Did you want to read it, or did you want me to read it, or?
Yeah, you can read.
Which is an ordinance to approve a conditional use to permit outdoor storage of rental box trucks, trailers, cargo vans, and pickup trucks at 2057-2059 Bloomingdale Road in the Village of Glendale Heights, Illinois. RMK LLC doing business as Maytag.
Yes, discussion?
Well, I think there's a motion.
Yes.
So moved.
Second, trustee Light, and second,
Second. Discussion.
trustee Pear, discussion.
Excuse me, what was the motion on that?
To approve.
To approve.
To approve?
Yes,
Okay.
which is the original, sorry.
Roll call.
I think Mary has discussion.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Mayor, is that not the one we just removed from the consent agenda?
Yes, the same one.
And you're approving it now? I have a problem with that because
Okay.
we voted?
We will vote.
Oh, all right, thank you.
So trustee Schroeder, there was a motion to approve it, there was a second, and now it's open to discussion.
All right.
Go ahead, Mayor.
Just as a reminder, there's also the petitioner is here for any questions that you may have.
What I would like to say is that we had another business that wanted the same thing, and we didn't approve that, and I don't feel that we should approve this one.
Anybody else?
So I have a question. So, Joanne, is that the same case or there is a difference between these two?
So the village board has considered 3 applications for outdoor storage of U-Haul facilities. And one of them was passed, one of them failed, and this is the third one. Each one is reviewed on its own merits. The Plan Commission made a recommendation to approve this particular use because they have excess parking. It is a shopping center, so the rental of vehicles, equipment is an allowable conditional use in the zoning district, in the C2 district. This particular shopping center has a requirement of 179 parking spaces. They have 199 parking spaces on site, so that is why there was a recommendation for approval, because they exceed the minimum requirement, and the parking and storage of these vehicles would not impede the operation of the remaining units in the shopping center.
Okay, and we have approval from our fire department as well. They are,
Yes, there are some conditions that are attached to the ordinance that, to make sure that the fire lane is maintained open at all times, and that an area be in front of the fire connection be striped to ensure that there's no parking in front. So as long as those conditions are met, the fire district is supportive of that.
okay, thank you.
Yes, trustee Schroeder.
May I? May I speak?
Yes, go ahead.
Joanne, why did we not approve it before?
This is the first time this request is before you.
But he had many citations regarding these, and he didn't reply to them. All right?
So what happened was that there was citations, and the village attorney recommended that we place on hold enforcement while they were going through the review process. So that is why they were here before you this evening.
No, I still don't understand why we refused them the first time.
We didn't, you have not, this is the first time this is before you. You
No,
have not,
it's-
you have not voted against this one prior.
I think she's talking.
This did not come before us before?
This use, no.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did come before us once.
Different board meeting.
Yes, it did. A few years ago, it came before us.
I don't have any recollection of that whatsoever.
It never came before the board.
No. There's, in the 10 years
You
I've
don't
been here.
remember that, Pat?
It did come before the board, because the gentleman, I questioned a couple things, and we were told what's gonna be gone, what's gonna happen. I remember that.
Yes, it did, Joanne, many years ago. It did
Okay,
come before
yeah,
us.
perhaps before my time. I don't have recollection of that. I'm sorry. I don't know.
As long as I've been here, it's never come before a petition for zoning relief, no.
I'm corrected, it was
was
the
at the
plan
plan-
commission,
it
not
was-
the
Oh,
board.
yeah,
Okay.
it was before the plan
Plan
commission, that is
So,
correct.
okay.
That is
Not the
Because I know it
board.
was brought before us.
Right, it was before the Plan Commission. They conducted the public hearing.
Right.
To my knowledge, I've been here 10 years, this is the first time the village board has considered
No,
this.
it never came to the board, it came to the plan commission.
Okay.
Okay, trustee Light, please.
Call for the question?
Right, that means it's time to take a vote.
Oh, he wants.
You don't remember coming before the board?
Trustee Light, do you want to say something?
There's been a call
Commission came before
for the
board.
question, so
You
now
Remember that?
that requires us to take a vote. So discussion is over, and there will be a vote. If we could take the roll call.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Meritato,
Yes.
trustee Pojek,
No,
Trustee Schroeder.
No.
Trustee Schmidt.
Yes.
Trustee Siddiqui.
Yes.
Trustee Light.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you.
New business. There is a request to waive first reading on new business item 2 to 4. Is there a motion to waive first reading on new business item 2 to 4? I need motion for that. Who was first? Trustee Light? And then
So moved.
Second.
Trustee Schmidt.
Second.
Second. Discussion. No discussion. Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Siddiqui.
Yes.
Trustee Light.
Yes.
Trustee Meritato.
Yes.
Trustee Pojek.
Yes.
Trustee Schroeder.
Yes.
Trustee Schmidt.
Yes.
First reading is waived on new business items 2 to 4. Number 2, an ordinance to amend section 1-5-4 entitled Office Hours of Chapter 5 entitled Official and Administrative Provisions of Title 1 entitled Administration of the Municipal Code of Ordinances of the Village of Glendale Heights, LNI. First reading is waived. This is ordinance 2022-27. Is there a motion to approve ordinance 2022-27? I did, Trustee Pat.
So moved.
Second.
Trustee Schmidt, second. Discussion. None, roll call vote, please.
Trustee Light.
Yes.
Trustee Meritato.
Yes.
Trustee Pojek.
Yes.
Trustee Schroeder.
Yes.
Trustee Schmidt.
Yes.
Trustee Siddiqui.
Yes.
Ordinance 2022-27 is approved. Number 3, an ordinance authorizing the sale of surplus personal property of the Village of Glendale Heights, 2009 International Dump Truck with snow and ice equipment. First reading is waived. This is ordinance 2022-28. Is there a motion to approve ordinance 2022-28? Trustee Schmidt.
So moved.
Second.
Second, Trustee Maritato. Discussion. No discussion. Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Meritato.
Yes.
Trustee Pojek.
Yes.
Trustee Schroeder.
Yes.
Trustee Schmidt.
Yes.
Trustee Siddiqui.
Yes.
Trustee Light.
Yes.
Ordinance 2022-28 is approved. Number 4, an ordinance to amend ordinance 2022-23 entitled an ordinance to waive bid and accept the proposal of E-Z-GO, a division of Textron Specialized Vehicle Incorporation, and authorizing the execution of a notice of award purchase order for the purchase of 77 golf carts and the trade-in of 74 golf carts. First reading is waived. This is ordinance 2022-29. Is there a motion to approve ordinance 2022-29? Trustee Light.
So moved.
Second, Trustee Pojek.
Second.
Yeah, trustee. Discussion. None? Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Pojek.
Yes.
Trustee Schroeder.
Yes.
Trustee Schmidt.
Yes.
Trustee Siddiqui.
Yes.
Trustee Light.
Yes.
Trustee Meritato.
Yes.
Ordinance 2022-29 is approved. Number 5, an ordinance to approve and authorize the annual appropriation ordinance of the Village of Glendale Heights, LNI, first reading. 6, an ordinance reserving and authorizing the transfer of volume cap in connection with private activity bond issues and related matters, first reading. 7, a resolution to approve and authorize the execution of the First Amendment to the Cloud Data Storage Services Agreement between Central Square, formerly known as SunGuard Public Sector LLC, and the Village of Glendale Heights, Illinois. This is Resolution 2022-R-40. Is there a motion to approve Resolution 2022-R-40? Trustee Siddiqui, first.
Second.
Second, Trustee Light. Discussion. Yes, Mr. Smith.
Doug, is this for primary storage or backup?
This is for, Trustee Smith, this is for the primary storage, the financial management system of the village.
Okay, I'm assuming that the proper safeguards against unwanted intrusion are in place?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
There's redundancy, there's alternate backup sites that Central Square provides as part of the agreement.
Okay, off the premises here, correct?
Out of the state of Illinois.
Okay, good, thank you.
Anybody else? None? Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Meritato?
Yes.
Trustee Pojek?
Yes.
Trustee Schroeder.
Yes.
Trustee Schmidt?
Yes.
Trustee Siddiqui?
Yes.
Trustee Light?
Yes.
Resolution 2022-R-40 is approved. 8, appointing a police commissioner to the Board of Police Commissioners for the Village of Glendale Heights, Illinois. This is Resolution 2022-R-41. Is there a motion to approve Resolution 2022-R-41? Motion, Trustee Light?
So moved.
Trustee Pojek, second.
Yes.
Discussion.
Second.
Second, Trustee Pojek.
Chester,
Just
second.
Trustee Pojek. Discussion. None. Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Pojek?
Yes.
Trustee Schroeder.
Yes.
Trustee Schmidt?
Yes.
Trustee Siddiqui?
Yes.
Trustee Light?
Yes.
Trustee Meritato?
Yes.
Resolution 2022-R-41 is approved. We now go on the public discussion.
No, we have
We
number
have number
10.
10 that is number, it's
Oh, yeah,
number
number-
9 now.
No,
underneath this.
number 9.
I can read it for you.
Oh, that's fine, I can read if you want. Go ahead if you want, go ahead.
Oh, you want?
That's fine. Number 9,
What's it?
that is
Under new business.
new business,
It was,
and
it was under number 10. the consent
number,
agenda.
is number 9 again,
Yes.
over here.
Yes.
So, new business number 9, a resolution to approve and authorize the execution of the Third Amendment to the,
No, that's not it.
Number 10 is now number 9.
no, I'm reading this one.
No, but we already proved that.
Okay.
It's this one.
Oh, yeah, that's approved. Number 10, that is number 9 in new business. A resolution authorizing the execution of change order numbers 1 and 2 for the wastewater treatment plant, non-potable water replacement project in the Village of Glendale Heights, Illinois, RES 2022-R-36. Is there a motion to approve resolution 2022-R-36? Yes, go ahead.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second, first trustee Pat, second trustee Light. Discussion.
I think we have,
Yeah,
we
I
have
have,
a presentation.
Chris Marshenke from Trotter and Associates is here to explain the work involved with these two change orders.
Good evening, Mayor Coker, trustees. Chris Marshinki with Trotter and Associates. I'll try to keep this pretty brief, but there are two change orders associated with the village's non-potable water replacement project that are before the board this evening. The first one, change order number 1, is a time extension only This was requested by the contractor to allow for the water main that's part of this project to be installed concurrently with air piping that is being installed as part of the village's digester rehabilitation project. Essentially, we have two sets of pipe as part of two different projects going into the same area, and it's the same contractor handling both of those projects. So they've asked if they can run that piping concurrently rather than digging through the middle of the wastewater treatment plant twice. The advantage to that is we avoid a lot of potential utility conflicts going through the wastewater treatment plant, where we may have to reroute some of that piping. But we have to extend the contract to allow that water main to be installed when that air main can be installed. That's kind of the determining factor there.
Good question. Does that save us some money now?
Yes, on the digester project. So because the digester air piping shifts a little bit to get into that same trench, the contractor has proposed, I don't remember off the top of my head, I believe it's just under $5,000 credit to allow them to do that. But that would be part of the digester rehabilitation project, since it's shifting of that air main into essentially the same trench as the non-potable water.
Okay, my question is, are we running on time on this project? Because I know everybody's running out of material, we can't get material, and, I mean, are we gonna prolong?
Yeah, so it
Prolong this
is,
thing?
it is an extension of the contract to allow that. On the good side is we've procured all the material. The contractor has all of the material on site. It's really just catching up with that. So I don't think there's any additional time beyond what's here associated with that piping. Now, the second change order that we're talking about also has a time extension associated with that, and we'll maybe talk about that in a minute. But change order one, that time extension, I think the contractor feels comfortable with being complete within that time frame.
Okay, so you're saying this change order is just for a length of time?
Correct. It's a zero cost, but a time extension.
Okay. Gotcha, thank you.
Change order two, unless there's any more questions on that one. Change order two is the replacement and installation of several sets of screens through the village's wastewater treatment plant effluent channel. So basically at the end of the wastewater treatment process, it's replacing two different sets of screens that are intended to screen algae and sediment from the effluent before it's tributary to the non-potable water process. So essentially your non-potable water system pulls its water supply from the effluent of the wastewater treatment plant. Rather than using village potable water and DuPage Water Commission water, we use the treated effluent for some of the processes on site. But these screens that are in there currently, as we were going through the non-potable water project, we found that they're not working as originally intended, mostly just due to age of those facilities. So replacement of this has two benefits essentially. One of which is that it'll do a significantly better job in screening algae and sediment from that effluent prior to the non-potable water system picking it up, which will extend the service life of the non-potable water pumps, all of the piping that was just replaced, everything to that effect. The second benefit to this one is currently staff has to manually pull two sets of these screens from the channel that they're in. And when they are built up with algae, it's very heavy. So the village has a protocol in place where it requires two staffers to be present to pull these screens. And it's to the point now where they're pulling them every day, every other day, which is presenting something of a safety concern just in that lifting and everything associated with that. So replacement of these screens will change the configuration a little bit to make them much more user-friendly to remove for village staff. So there's a staff safety benefit to it, as well as protecting the investment that you just went through in replacing the non-potable water system. So there is both a time and a cost implication of that one. The time is solely associated with procurement of the material for those screens. The metal fabricators have said it's about a 3-month lead time just to get those screens, which, to your point, 2 years ago, that probably would have been a 2 to 3 week lead time. But that's kind of the situation that all infrastructure is in right now. And the cost implication of that one is $31,078. And that's change order 2 that's before the board tonight.
Okay, now, my question is, shouldn't that been figured in on the price when we started this project?
In the scope of the original project, you're saying?
Right.
So part of it is that until we get in there to replace a lot of these components and including drawing down of the pumping chamber, so we took the entire system offline for several months, drained everything down, replaced the piping, so we can actually see what the condition of everything is as part of that. So part of that requires that the system be down. During this process, when everything's taken down, we can see what's actually going on in there. And that's not part of routine maintenance or anything like that, that the village performs. So part of this is just something that you come across as you're doing this replacement.
So, as we're doing this change order, are we getting a little better price because they're already there? I mean,
Yes, yeah, I would think so. We did request pricing from an alternate mechanical contractor, just as a check against this one to make sure everything looks good. And they were, I think, within 2% of each other, so they were right there. So I think we feel very comfortable that the cost is right in line with where it should be.
okay, thank you.
My question is, I mean, this wasn't an oversight by the department not maintaining these filters, or is this something that's part of the regular maintenance that should have been done?
No, so part of the issue with the existing screens is they were installed, I believe about 15 years ago, the two that are in this tertiary filter building. And these screens just see wastewater effluent all day, every day. So they are going to degrade over time. That's part of it. The other part is just that these systems aren't being drained on any kind of like a regular basis to see what the condition of all of them is. And honestly, I don't think that's anything that most communities would do. It's a pretty significant endeavor to drain all these facilities and check the condition of them. So I don't think it's anything that's that should have been a different maintenance schedule or anything
So
historically.
you never change them?
Well, you'll probably have to replace them in another 15 years just because they are a
On a
piece of
regular-
metal that's in wastewater. Right, exactly.
Right.
But to that end, in reconfiguring these a little bit, it will make it much easier for them to be removed, to be cleaned by staff. So I think when we do this, it will no longer require two staffers. One staffer can do that to clean it, which can only improve the maintenance frequency of cleaning these screens and prolonging the life of
So
them as
there's no
well.
way to restore what's there? They have to be completely replaced?
No, the screens that are in there are, they were custom fabricated, probably 15 years ago, and it's I would say not a system that you would put money in to try to repair. And when we say screen, really, we just mean it's probably a 3.5 foot wide by 3 foot deep, like mesh screen that all of the flow is passing through. So it's not a piece of like mechanical equipment or anything like that, that really requires the significant maintenance.
Yes, Pat.
One more question. We're doing so much work there. Is this the same thing that we had when they had the pipe, that we couldn't get in it to clean it?
I'm thinking that's the wet weather improvements project. Separate
was that what it
projects.
was?
No, it's a different project.
A different one?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
All right, thank you.
Trustee Pojek.
Yeah, how thick is that screen?
I believe it is 3/8 inch off the top of my head. Yeah, it's
I
not
thought
like
it
a
might
wedge
be,
wire screen or anything like that. Part of it is because there is so much algae passing through it, you don't want a very significant tight screen or it will blind that. And hydraulically, if we start blinding that one, it will just overflow that channel. So it has to be a relatively coarse screen, we would call it.
Okay, very good, thank you.
Anybody else? Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Schroeder,
Yes.
Trustee Schmidt,
Yes.
Trustee Siddiqui,
Yes.
Trustee Light,
Yes.
Trustee Meritato,
Yes.
Trustee Pojek.
Yes.
Motion is, resolution is carried,
Board, I would just like to say that the Trusser and Associates will be coming back at the next board meeting to give a presentation of the current work that's going down at the treatment plant and where they're at with it in terms of timing and construction phasing. So Chris will be back here in 2 weeks to give that presentation.
Okay, good, because I think we need an update,
Yeah,
because we're spending a lot of money there, and
we certainly are.
I'd like to
So-
know what's going on.
So he'll be here in the next 2 weeks to do that.
Okay, thank you.
Resolution 2022-R-36 is approved. We now go on to public discussion of agenda items. Is there anyone in the public that would like to address this board on an agenda items? None. There is no executive session. Is there a motion to adjourn? Trustee Schmidt and Trustee Light.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second. Roll call vote.
Trustee Schmidt?
Yes.
Trustee Light?
Yes.
Trustee Siddiqui?
Yes.
Trustee Meritato?
Yes.
Trustee Pojek?
I'm looking forward to it.
Trustee Pojek?
Yes.
Trustee Schroeder.
Yes.
This meeting is adjourned. Trustee Pojek, you have the committee of the whole meeting.
I'd like to open up the committee of the whole meeting agenda on Thursday, April 7, 2022. I would like to call this committee of the whole meeting on Thursday. Will the clerk please note who is present?
Noted.
Does anybody have any additions or deletions?
We're gonna
This
get
is
to,
not public comment yet.
we're gonna get the public comment in just a few minutes. We have a presentation first. We're getting to you, Tika. I got you.
Pat?
I got you.
Village issues.
What is that, Pat?
Village issues.
Okay.
Trustee Light?
Senior help and legal.
Senior help?
Senior help and legal.
Trustee Siddiqui?
DMMC.
DMMC.
I opened this one up.
Oh, Mary,
I'm right next to
you
you.
had to tap me.
Summerfest and Community Garden. I have two.
Okay. Next is discussion regarding Republic Service. Doug, will you please take this?
Actually, we have a representative from Republic Services on Zoom, and she's prepared to talk to the board about some changes. Tish?
Good evening, Village Board, Village Manager, Mayor Coker. I'm sorry I can't be there in person tonight. Thank you for having me. My name is Tish Powell. I am the Manager of Municipal Sales for Republic Services. I'm no stranger to the Village of Glendale Heights. We're obviously proud to be your service provider and appreciate the partnership that we have with the village. What I have before you is a service day change for a couple of multifamily areas in the community. They are homeowners associations. I am going to attempt to share my screen and run through a brief slideshow. One moment. It was working a moment ago. Can you see that?
Nope.
No.
Let me try one more time. Can you see it now?
Yes. Yeah, we're good, Tish.
Okay, great, thank you. Um, what I'm gonna just go through really quickly is showing our current collection schedule in the village. We currently collect on Thursdays and Fridays. The Thursday collection area is highlighted in yellow, like a yellow-orange actually, and Friday is on in the blue. We are looking to change a couple of areas in town effective May 1st, moving the service day from Friday to Wednesdays. And the new service day, the first new service day under this new collection schedule would be on Wednesday, May 4th. This is the first area that we would be looking to change. It is the area north of Army Trail Road. It entails a handful of homeowners associations. Again, these are townhomes, condos that receive trash and recycling service from us only. They do not receive yard waste service. I believe Dillon Townhomes, the Havens, and Hidden Glen are the areas affected by this change. The next area is the area known as Glendale Lakes. This is an area further south. It would be moved from Friday to Wednesday collection day. And the reason, and I probably should have covered this a little bit earlier, just as we have operational shifts and where we're collecting in different areas, we need to balance our staffing to, make sure that we are providing you with the top quality service that you have come to expect and deserve from Republic Services. Our communication plan is similar to what we did the last time, and it actually went very smoothly. We worked very closely and very well with the village in terms of helping to get the word out to folks. I think we worked with the village to help do automated phone calls to residents that we don't have phone numbers for. We mailed postcards directly to all of the affected areas, worked with the property managers and homeowners associations affected, and then there was information on the village's website. This is a sample of what the postcard would look like, letting folks know that their recycling and waste service day is changing, letting them know the date of that change, and giving them information on where to call in case they've got questions. One of the things that we've done kind of in preparation for this, I've started contacting some of the homeowners associations that are affected just to kind of give them a heads up and, get some feedback. I will note that in particular, if you recall when we went through a day change not too long ago, last year, there were some concerns that were raised by one of the homeowners associations, I believe it was the Havens, regarding us changing the service day to the same day as their landscaping service day. So, we've kept that in mind. We've continued to work with the homeowners association on making sure that, we're hopefully not in the way of the landscapers, and saw this opportunity to kind of move off of that day, along with moving some other homeowners associations to make our operations more efficient. The property manager that I spoke with was very, very interested in us being able to make this move and was appreciative of us continuing to, address the situation with them. That's pretty much the end of my presentation. I'm here and available to take any questions that anyone might have.
Yeah, Tish, I have a question for you. Are you gonna be putting up, new yard signs?
Yes, that is part of what we are doing, and I know that you and I spoke this week, Trustee Pojek, about some of the signs that may have inadvertently been left in your neighborhood. And I've contacted our route manager, and he's assured me he's going to go back through and make sure that anything that he sees that's still out, we can definitely pick those up.
Also, my next question is, say on Wednesday, May 4th, some people don't put their garbage out. Are you gonna come back the next day and make a quick round trip?
Absolutely. We realize, human error is what it is. People, are going to forget, oh, I forgot that this is the week that we changed. We will definitely, probably at least for the first 2 weeks, be going back and, in those areas and retrieving people's trash or recycling that they put it out on the wrong day.
Okay, thank you, Trish.
That's not a problem.
Tish,
our goal-
is that something that you would do as a routine, or should residents call you if they forget? Not you personally, but Republic Services.
I would say generally the first week we automatically go back, because we know that people, tend to mess up the first week. After that, they would just need to call us, and we obviously will go back and retrieve people's trash. Obviously our goal is to make sure people's trash gets picked up once a week in the community. If you forget, call us. We're going to make sure you get picked up.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions?
No questions? Okay. We're all in favor. You don't need a roll call vote on that. Thank you, Trish.
Appreciate it. I'm sorry I couldn't be there in person tonight.
It's okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, the next is, presentation regarding 2022 Glendale Heights Fest. Keith?
We're gonna hold on a second to get this all set up. As I mentioned at the budget meeting last week, I wanted to take an opportunity to give a little update on the 2022 Glendale Heights Fest. The Founders Day Committee started getting together in January to get the 2022 Fest planning started. The committee has been meeting monthly, and that started in January, and I'd like to thank the chair of the committee, Paula Sabatino, for being here this evening. But while these meetings have been going on, staff has also been hard at work on everything from tents to generators, food vendors to fencing, and everything else is necessary to get the event ready for this summer. I am here today to let the board and the residents know that Glendale Heights Fest is on track for opening day on July 13th. Obviously, the first thing that comes to mind when you think of Glendale Heights Fest is the carnival, and North American Midway Entertainment has been in contact with village staff and will be offering many of the same items as in years past with only minimal increases in pricing from 2019. Look for more information on pre-sales and ticket information in the July Village newsletter. We hope to see thousands of happy faces like those in the picture. Now, as Bill said in the budget presentation, let's journey on to the music. Glendale, thank you for that. Bill, I thought it was great. At this point, the Glendale Heights Fest music and entertainment schedule is also set with music and dancing from a variety of genres, including classic rock, 80s, country, pop, and much more. Additionally, line dancing will be returning on Friday's country night. We have not forgotten about the fireworks. Shows are again planned for both Wednesday night and Sunday night. A contract with our new vendor will be on the agenda for the April 21st meeting for approval, and we look forward to a great teaser show on Wednesday and a show that Glendale Heights will be talking about on Sunday. As mentioned at the budget meeting, we have a few items that we would like to bring to the board's attention. As everyone is aware, the budget process started earlier this year, and we have become aware of some increases in pricing that did not make the approved budget. Among those items, the tents that are used for Fest are estimated to come in around 40% above budget, and the fireworks contract that will be presented will be 10% above budget. We have also gone out for bid for security services twice and have not received a viable bid either time. We have followed up with companies that we solicited bids from and heard from pretty much all of them that the reason they did not bid was due to their inability to find the needed staff for our event. We want you to know that Chief Pappas and his staff have been working to put together an alternative plan that we are confident will offer our residents the safety they have come to expect, but what that cost will be has yet to be finalized. The only thing we are sure of is that it will cost more than double what we have paid in the past. The final item that I wanted to bring to your attention was staff's recommendation to adjust the hours of Fest. The recommendation from staff is to look at opening a little earlier on a daily basis, but changing the closing times to 10:30 p.m. on Wednesday and Thursday night, 11 p.m. on Friday and Saturday night, and 10 p.m. on Sunday night. So that's a little brief update on Fest. Does anybody have any questions?
Pat. Keith, why the time change?
I'm gonna turn that one over to the chief.
There's quite a few reasons for that. First of all, I grew up in Glendale Heights. When we had the Fest at Rescon Park, we had fireworks at Hall School, then I transferred to Camera Park. I always thought it was wrong that we shut the carnival down at curfew. We'd take the kids, we'd tell them to leave, and we made them juvenile delinquents by having them walking the streets when they should be home from curfew, first. Second of all, we need to look what's happening around not only the country, but close to us. I talked about the shooting we had at Camera Park in August. I talked about the 47 guns that we have taken off the street since July. In the same time frame, Carroll Strain Police Department, who I reached out, has removed 30 guns from the street. Locally, we had the shooting at the Oak Brook Mall. We've had the shooting at the Rosemont Mall. We had the shooting at the Indian Lakes Resort. And like I mentioned, the our Camera Park shooting. Nationally, there has been 138 mass shootings. Violence is just out there. At Fest, it's a different game when you're at the Midway. We call the Midway as the bandstand, as opposed to the carnival. The last hour of the carnival is when it gets really bad. From a police standpoint, we feel it is safer if we close. We talked about the carnival closing earlier and then the bandstand area. The reason being that if you have kids that are there for the carnival, then they can go with their family at the bandstand. We have to make sure that we have it safe for the people who are attending. It is a family festival. That is why Keith had mentioned maybe opening earlier and then closing later. Closing earlier and starting earlier. So its time frame will be open the same span. It just makes it more for a family festival.
And it's closing the carnival side earlier, not the Midway side. So the bands will still play till
We still are planning on closing at that
10.
at that time, at
11 o'clock.
10:30 and 11, yeah.
Yeah, so it's an hour earlier on Saturday and an hour, 2 hour, well, generally speaking, our time frame on Sundays has always been till 11. We have stayed open till midnight on Sundays for, I don't know why, we just have. But our time frame on paper is 11 o'clock on Sundays. That time frame from 10 o'clock on Sunday, when the fireworks end, is the worst time for us, period. So when the fireworks end and the carnival rides come back on, that's when almost all of our problems have occurred on Sundays. And if you remember 2017, 2018, there were some pretty bad incidents that happened right when the fireworks ended. And from a overall safety perspective, closing the carnival upon the ending of fireworks makes a lot of sense in getting the park cleared out and foot traffic out to their cars and out onto Fullerton Avenue so we can get Fullerton Avenue opened up a little bit quicker as well. So that's the rationale behind moving that hours back, it just makes sense. When the fireworks are over, that kind of concludes the event for Sunday night, and then closing the park earlier throughout the week, especially Saturday and Sunday when we can open up earlier for all the kids. Instead of opening up at 3, we can open up at 2, and the kids will have more time, and families have more time without some of the issues that happen at night.
We just can't get like the security details, we can't get them there. When Doug and I first sat down, prior to learning that, it's just the world right now. People are, they can't, employers cannot get employees for security. Our plan was to have more security there. We, as a police entity, we always had the gang unit come from DuPage County. There were 7 to 10 officers that would be there for us on the weekend. Our whole idea was to take some of the officers from the bandstand area and load up the carnival to cover for that. To do that, we'd have to have a security firm. As Keith mentioned, there is no security firms out there. They don't have employees. The ones that we have used, they have events in Chicago, so they can't come out here. So that's what put us into a quandary.
So our main concern is security. I mean, we have any ideas of how we're gonna do it?
Yeah, so George and the police department have Plan B. Unfortunately, Plan B isn't as cost-effective as Plan A of private security, right? Which means we have to hire back more police officers, right? And we can do that, and we'll get police officers there, and we'll make it a safe event. George is gonna coordinate with various departments and IMAT that we belong to. IMAT is a DuPage County-wide metropolitan way for us to get police services, right? For planned events such as Summerfest, we have to pay for that, right? Spontaneous events get to be for free because they're spontaneous. But planned events, we have to pay for because we know about them in advance. So Summerfest will go on. Summerfest will be safe. It's just gonna cost a little bit more.
Yeah, well, my concern, I don't care how the board feels, but I'd rather spend the money for the safety than, I mean, if it's gonna cost us more, so be it.
Mary?
All right, Mary, go ahead.
Thank you. All right, there seems to be a big issue on cost. Now, I spoke to some of the people on the committee, and they had suggested that instead of having fireworks on 2 nights, the first night and the last night, because of the cost of all the security, why can't we have one better night on the last night instead of having it twice? First of all, well, let me finish before you start, First of all, you would eliminate a lot of costs. You need more employees, you need more police, you need a lot more things going on. We don't need fireworks 2 nights and, with our fest. One good night would be sufficient. They just want you to think about it, but the committee is all for having it one night. Now, what I want to say is the reason we have committees is because they oversee these projects that we have. Why would we have a committee if we're not going to listen to the things that they suggest? They suggested that it would reduce the cost, it would be more efficient, we wouldn't need all this security, and with fireworks at I think it comes to like about $1,000 a minute. Why can't we just have one big night on Sunday instead of 2 nights? So they would like the board to think about this. And I thought it was an excellent idea.
And certainly, that's not a decision that I would make. That's certainly something that the board needs to discuss on how many nights of fireworks that they want. And honestly, I think the board needs to talk to the residents, see what the residents want. So it's,
Maybe George and you can work with the committee discussing that, you know, one night or two nights. And we
It was
might
a-
have to have a rain day too, who knows?
It was actually brought up.
It was?
It was brought up in the
I'd
committee.
like to clarify what Mary said. She was talking about me. It wasn't really brought up at the committee as a whole yet. It was just something that I was thinking of, because when we talked to our fireworks guy, he was saying that, you know, we're not gonna get the same bang for our buck that we used to. It's just not gonna happen unless we put more money in it, because everything, the price of everything's gone up. The China problem with getting product in, although he does have the product, the person we talked to. And it was just something that I kept thinking about. I said, well, being the way it is, being the way the security is going, that, you know, how much do we pay for security to have it on Wednesday? And that was my thought. It was just, you know, combine it to one, have one great show, and maybe we can save some money in the security, in that aspect. That was my, you know, just me talking, not the whole committee. I don't know, I really didn't bring that up.
Paula, it actually was. So the last meeting, when you were not there, they did bring this up. They did
Okay.
say that. And I'm gonna give you guys an example. Like on Wednesday, we have 40 officers. And the reason we have more officers there is because of the fireworks. On a regular day, like would be similar to Thursday, we have 35 officers. So there's 5 more officers that are needed at least for those fireworks. So you're right, you would not have to pay for as many officers to be there if you didn't have a fireworks show. So we did take that into consideration, and we did
Okay, all
talk about that.
Yeah, I
but-
didn't know. I'm sorry, I was on vacation, but
Yes.
it was just, like I say, it was just more in with security and saving costs there, putting it there on Sunday, having one great show. And I know people are used to it, but, you know, times change. And like you said, times are, you know, these are different times now. It's not like the 50s or when we started out.
Right.
It's different. It's just different. It is tougher.
Paula, you had mentioned we weren't gonna get the same amount of fireworks on Wednesday and Sunday. You said that because of the cost.
Well,
Is that true? It's gonna be
So-
a little less?
So Darcy and I've had 2 or 3 additional conversations
Right.
after the committee met with the fireworks vendor. We believe that the fireworks that will be presented will be befitting of what Glendale Heights expects from their fireworks.
Oh, okay.
Good answer. Paula, you've done a wonderful job with Summerfest all
Oh,
these
thank you,
years. As
thank
long
you.
as I can remember, you've been the chairperson. I think you do an excellent job.
So much. Well, we've got a great committee. We've always had a great committee, and we've always had the support of the board, so. And we
Yes.
have, and basically, you know, we're an appendage of the board. And then the appendages to us is staff. And I gotta say that Glendale Heights staff, in all respects, whoever does the parking, the parks, everybody, everybody seems to band together then. And we put on a
Right.
pretty nice show for our community.
We work
Size.
well together, yes, and that's so important.
That's,
Thank you again.
so I gotta commend everybody on that one, so.
So we don't need an answer tonight on how many days of fireworks. It's something that certainly you should go back and talk to your residents about and see what the feeling is throughout the community. But we will need something soon, probably next board meeting, 2 weeks.
Yeah, so just so you know, part of the reason why we have that separated out and it will come back is that we were still discussing this as of yesterday to get a final kind of plan. So we're gonna present to you a plan that has both days in a similar situation to what it's been. I also will have a plan that is with the original money just for Sunday, and that can also be done ultimately at the next board meeting. That's where we're gonna need a decision, because that's where we're gonna need to sign the contract with the company. So that's something, we do have a couple weeks, that's why we wanted to do this part of it today.
We gonna have a security plan by then, in 2 weeks?
Well, the final, I'm gonna go to Darcy. I think the bids for security,
They've already been opened and we did not receive any.
so we're closed, so we will go to our, like Doug said, Plan B, and Plan B is just going to IMAT, mirror IMAT, and put it out there. It's a we're way in advance, so we'll get the numbers by then. We will get off-duty officers, but it's gonna be at the overtime rate for their agency.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Keith.
You can take my Summerfest off now.
Oh, I
I will.
So I have.
Anything else, Keith?
Yeah, so I have one thing that so on those couple of issues we talked about, obviously we've discussed fireworks, we'll bring that back and we'll need a final decision next time. I think the other big thing though, from a planning standpoint, and we really need an answer probably at the same time, so maybe we need to add this to the next agenda, is we gotta set the times. We're gonna need to set that. It determines when the bands play, we need to make sure we get it out to the food vendors. So there's a lot of pieces of that, so everybody knows that's something we also need to finalize at the next meeting.
You can have the same amount of vendors, just about, or?
We've had a number come in, we're still taking them, I couldn't tell
Are
you
you
if we're at the
really?
same, we're at 13 right now. So, and we range between 13 and 20.
Oh, okay.
You said you're gonna start early. You gave us the closing times. You didn't tell us the starting times.
Because I'd like to talk to the carnival, if you guys are in favor of opening early, then I will contact them and we'll try and make some arrangement. Maybe it's an hour, maybe it's an hour and a half. A number of years ago, we used to open at 1 o'clock.
That was
and
on
so-
Saturday, right?
Yeah, we did that on Saturday and Sunday, and so maybe that's what we do instead of opening early during the week, is do 2 hours on the weekends. We'd like to work with our vendors to try and figure out what's the best way to do that.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Keith, do you have any idea how change in hours will affect revenue?
We don't. That's something, though, that we have been upfront with all of the vendors, including the carnival, so they know that this is something that we're looking at.
You got another question? All right, Pat?
Did you give the vendors any kind of a break because it was an hour less closing time?
We did not.
That's 7 hours a week.
Uh,
The 5 days, how many days are there? They're
So-
losing 5 hours or selling food or.
I think that the vendors would tell you, and I'll look to Paula, but I think the vendors would tell you that the last hour is not the hour that they make their money. In fact, I don't know that they would necessarily, they don't like early hours, but they also, the late hours are not their best. It's them giving away their stuff at the end.
Okay, well, I don't know, so I can't say anything.
All right, any more questions?
No.
Nope, that's it. Thank you, Keith. Okay, now we're gonna go to the public for public comment. Is there anyone in the public that would like to address this board?
Tika, this is your time.
Step up front over here. Ma'am, let me
saw-
finish.
I saw
There's gonna
Chris
be a
Twi- I saw-
5-minute time limit. And Attorney Passion's gonna be keeping accurate time.
Protect the police at all costs, right now. Begin my time now, Peter.
I'm starting.
America, we are in World War III. Russia is poised. This is an article, this is an opinion piece that I've submitted to the Epoch Times, which is the greatest newspaper in America. Russia is poised and motivated to attack us sooner or later. Our other major enemy, China, outsmarts us again and again and again. I humbly submit the first major attack in World War III was in 2020 with the biological attack in the form of the coronavirus, COVID-19 from China. Not a conventional war, so we failed to acknowledge it. It killed millions worldwide, including China's own people whom they do not care about. The lockdowns, the masks, the vaccines, media fraud, and Dr. Fauci's debatable science all blindsided us to the truth. It is a virus focused primarily on the elderly with comorbidity to be treated with common sense, which is what President Trump did with a strong initial response. He left the treatment management primarily to the state governors, giving President Biden a very good platform. In 2021, the second year, there's 3 years, the second year of World War III was horribly handled by President Biden, destroying vast areas of American historical exceptionalism. He ruined many of President Trump's victories for Americans. The southern border, horrible now. Energy independence, horrible now. COVID progress, still horrible with mandates, especially in many blue states. Inflation, horrible. Education, CRT, horrible. Police disrespect and underfunding, horrible. Last year, we also had a time of great psychological warfare, China style, imposed by our literally crazy leaders and influencers. I have heard time and time again Everyone and everything is crazy. It is a strategic war against our minds, which is causing great mental illness, suicide. I'm a suicide counselor. Suicide and crime to soar, hurting the children and nation with tremendous economic devastation. With so much chaos, confusion, and powerful lies, we are nearly helpless and very divided, frozen in fear, millions of people. Now, in 2022, the third year, I believe there's a positive ending. I believe World War III, as we are all faced with tragic war, evil versus good in war in Ukraine now, is totally media-focused and is a terrible conventional war bleeding all over the world. Pray God, them and we are all trying to help. However, we are now ignoring and neglecting our own terrible war within. We melt silently with madness, sink with suicidal sadness. Our rage grows, turning on one another. What can we do before we self-destruct or are destroyed with such ignorant leadership? Unite Americans, pray and talk to God, whomever you conceive him to be, to help guide us wisely. Speak your common sense. One more sentence. Speak your common sense for our constitutional rights respectfully. 2 more sentences. According to what you were able to do, try to and know what's going on locally with your village and schools. Last sentence. Talk to family, friends, and neighbors. Support one another. It's time to save America.
Thank you. I apologize. What was your name again? Thank you. Next, anybody else? Please state your name, please.
Chester, my name is Kim Darlin. I'm on Greenbrier Drive.
I just got to do it legally.
Right.
Thank you.
No problem. I have 3 questions. Mr. Passione, is that okay if I ask 3 if I'm in my 5 minutes?
This is public comment. If anybody wants to answer your question, they're free to do so.
Excellent.
But they're under no obligation to do so.
Oh, then I'd have to FOIA it if they don't answer it?
I'm just saying it's public comment.
Okay. Marie, do you have your FOIAs back yet?
I do.
All of them?
As I have not read them with my heart and soul in the past few weeks.
Okay.
But it looks like I have the majority. They're limited, but I do have some. Yes.
And you can use them for whatever it was you're trying to do? Excellent. Doug, can you tell me about the banquet hall? Have we had any people that are interested in?
Yes, so there's 2 vendors that are working on proposals.
Okay.
The proposal at their, both vendors' request, was extended till April 30th.
Okay, so April 30th, we'll have more information?
Correct.
Okay, and the third one is, who's in charge of snow removal?
Public Works.
I am.
Could I ask a question?
Sure.
I'm on Greenbrier Drive.
Mm-hmm.
I happen to be on the eyebrow section of Greenbrier Drive. My concern is, this is the first year that my mailbox hasn't been shoveled into, so I'm grateful for that. However, I am also the bus stop. So what happens, because I'm on the eyebrow, the bus has to go into the street to pick up the kids, because my area is not shoveled. I'm not trying to get my area shoveled any quicker, but my concern is, when I'm on the eyebrow, do they leave our subdivision and then come back to do my eyebrow? Because we have 3 eyebrows in the division.
No, the driver will typically pass through the eyebrow as they're ploughing the road.
No, they leave it.
That's typically how they would do it.
Okay, well, I'm telling you, that's not how they do it.
Okay.
It's left, the whole 3 streets in our neighborhood are plowed,
Okay.
and then about an hour, maybe hour and a half later, my eyebrow gets done, the other eyebrow on Greenbrier gets done, and so does the gate. So my concern is, why would they be leaving the subdivision to do the eyebrow, and then come back to do the eyebrow?
I will speak to the driver. with
Thank
it.
you.
Yeah.
That's all I had. Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
Yeah, Ed Pope, Wayne Avenue. Just a couple comments about the Summerfest stuff. Chief, I got, doubling for your budget, I mean, that's gonna be huge.
Please state your name.
He did.
I did.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was talking to Pat.
When all else fails, blame it on Pat.
I have to blame it on somebody.
I don't want this on my 5 minutes, Peter. This is comedy routine,
I'm
doesn't
adding
count.
it back.
All right,
Add 3 more minutes.
thank you. So, but I mean, as a resident, I really am concerned. I know you guys haven't made any final decisions, but, you know, like you said, with what's going on in the world, the security, and with all the people that come out from the city, and you can tell the transition at the carnival when it happens, like late afternoon. So I really hope you guys are able to address that and find, I mean, you have to no matter what, but I think doubling it, I don't know, Mary's idea, taking the, one of the fireworks out, save some money. I know in the past we had talked about, or the board had talked about shortening it by day, the fest. So, I mean, those are things you might want to look at. But my other question is, and you guys haven't mentioned who it is yet, but when we were vetting fireworks people, I don't know why Joe's gone, no one has said, but when we were vetting fireworks people a few years ago, some of them had terrible safety reputations. So I don't know who the new company is, but are you vetting them for the safety concerns?
The
And
new
with
vendor-
with the fire department?
The new vendor is highly recommended by the fire department, actually, and is nationwide and kind of local out of Indiana, but they're nationwide. And the person in charge is one of the more reputable persons and is advocated for by the fire department. So they come highly recommended.
Okay, well, because some of them looked really good on paper, and then you start checking them out, and, you find not so good.
They've had conversations with them.
We met in person, Paula, myself, somebody from the fire department, and Darcy, and they fulfilled all the obligations within the RFP in regards to having paperwork and all the stuff that they needed to have. We've had many conversations with the gentleman since then, and I'm very confident that he will do what he says he's going to do. Safety was his number one thing, number one.
Keith, if you remember correctly, the fire department said he had previously
Yep.
worked with him in Lombard for many years.
Yes.
I remember him saying that, so he knows, he knows his.
No, my concern was just that paper, you can do anything, especially in this day and age on paper, and you look great. But then, you check the reputations with, other municipalities or things that they've done, and you get some really bad feedback.
This
So-
company has been around for 27 years, so it's not fly-by-night
Okay.
like we've talked about in the past.
Okay, that's
And
all I
I
have.
looked up their name on the internet and on my computer, and with all the various locations in the village around here, they got a good reputation, and they show some displays too.
I mean, that's great, because, let's face it, Glendale Heights is known for their fireworks display. It's kind of like a badge of honor here. But, and blowing anything off is one thing, but doing it safely is a whole nother issue.
I haven't seen Boom Boom around for a long time. Is he
They have,
still in the?
Our prior vendor wasn't able to bid because he wasn't confident he'd have enough shells to shoot, because everything comes from overseas.
Oh, okay.
So the vendor that bid and won the bid actually has what would be our show already in inventory.
Oh, okay. Well, I was more concerned about the safety aspect. Like I said, anybody can submit the RFP, but do they have the background to check on it? All right, thank you.
Pat?
Hey, Ed,
Ed?
I just wanted to say, as you know in the past, I was always for a Friday, Saturday, and fest. I was only for a 3-day fest.
I've always been with you on that.
All the time, but I just never had the votes.
He had mine.
Just for your information, Lumina Fireworks, Rocky Saliano unfortunately passed away. He did our fireworks for 20 years, I think, with Joe Costanza. Joe is not in great health either, but, prayers out to him. But, Rocky Saliano did pass away. I felt really bad, and it came to me sort of after, we probably should have sent something, but it was after the fact that I sort of found out, so.
So Boom Boom's in bad health?
He's not in the greatest health lately, so prayers for him.
Thank you, Paula.
Yeah, they did a great job for us all those years, so.
Anybody else?
That's it.
Please state your name, please.
Mr. Epstein, Club Drive, Glendale Heights. Rachel, they've been out to stripe for the curbs by my area because they've been so deteriorated. I'm just wondering, do you know when they might get out there and repair those? I'm out.
They should be done in the next few weeks. That's when they're scheduled to be done.
Okay, because I just didn't know how long. I didn't think the striping was, more than 7 to 14 days or something
Yeah,
out with
no,
you guys.
they are aware of it and they should be out there in the next few
All right,
weeks.
much appreciated on that. And Chief Pappas, I'm noticing, I'd like to see maybe a little bit more patrolling of parking lots with handicap areas. Yesterday I called on one over at Menards, and it was a guy with a construction truck, no plates, he left his engine running. I don't know if you guys were busy because of that car accident on North Avenue, didn't have enough staff to go in, or if somebody called Menards because it appeared two guys from Menards came out, and I don't know if they said, shoo him away or something like that, but there was a guy that, myself, and there was another lady that was parked in front of me that was handicapped too, and she was glad that, she didn't realize that we can call you guys in on situations like that. Also, the DuPage car dealerships are in complete violation all the time with their cars parked in the handicapped areas. So maybe you can have a conversation with them with regard to that. So,
I will tell them, and you're probably right, it was because of the accident, but I'll make sure the CSOs and the officers know.
okay, thank you very much.
Chris, before you leave, I have a question for you. Would you please go back there if you don't mind? On April 2nd, last Saturday, my name was mentioned at the meeting. Why were you worried about me being there?
Because you made a comment about our mayor not being at a previous one.
Because he asked the residents to be there. I don't have to be there at the coffee with,
Mayor and board, at least 4 out of the,
it's not mandatory for us to be there.
well, if you were there, you would have known why. So,
I just want to know why you brought up my name.
because you had commented about the mayor not being at the previous one.
That was in February.
No, that was in March.
Well, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. it's
Just
right.
refrain from mentioning my name, please.
No, I'm part of the public. I am, you're the one bringing up the argumentative right now.
Not an argument, it was a statement. That's all I'm saying.
And I told you why I brought your name up. So if you want to pick an argument,
Anybody else? Pat? Oh, Pat, you're next.
You gonna pick on me now? Okay, I don't think I'm blindsiding you guys, but, the senior bus, Doug, are we, how's that going?
So, we have one gentleman who is looking to, I should say volunteer, who is willing to drive the bus on a limited part-time basis. Meaning he doesn't want to work 20 hours a week, and it would be, we'd have to figure out his schedule. He's a retired gentleman, doesn't want to be committed to working, but he also wants to assist with getting the seniors around. We met with a bus company, with First Student, to see if their services could work. They have a plan in place that we could hire out their bus, or we could hire a driver for a certain dollar figure per hour. So we're looking at that. We really have to find 2 or 3 drivers for our senior bus if we're going to hire them as employees of the village. One's not gonna, the driver that has, I don't want to say volunteered, but has said that he would drive the bus. We wouldn't get enough hours out of him because he is retired and wants to kind of be retired. So we would have to find, we're trying to find 2 or 3 more drivers for our bus.
Okay, so when do you think we can get this up and running?
I've asked Jennifer to actually post for the bus driver position. So hopefully by next week, we can have that posting up. try and get applicants. I know what the dollar figure is for a driver if we were to have a driver from the bus company for a student, contract with them to drive our bus. That's something that if we don't find enough employees on our own, that I would bring to the board on a contract basis to drive the bus 20 hours a week, 9 AM to 1 PM, Monday through Friday, to get seniors where they need to get them to the senior center, that kind of stuff.
I would think that would be a better way to go. Give it to somebody else, pay them to drive our bus for 15 hours a week or 20 hours. I mean, what my goal is,
I don't disagree with you, it's just, and it's actually because you have experienced bus drivers. And their buses aren't set up, our buses are for seniors. We would have to come back to you with the budget proposal though, because it's not something that is.
oh, right, yes, right, right,
It's not something
exactly.
that is, $5,000, right? I mean, you're
Right.
talking 20 hours a week. So, and it's not horrible money, it's not hundreds of thousands of dollars, but it's certainly money that we haven't budgeted for.
Because my goal is to get these people to the doctor and back home.
Ours too.
I mean, maybe go grocery shopping at Valley or Jewels or something, but I mean, limited basis.
No, and get them to the events at the senior center that they want to get to.
Right, like bingo on Wednesday, a lot of people are not showing up because they can't get there.
And our exercise actually at the senior center, not just the exercise room, but the other fitness classes that they have for the seniors are really, really crowded. Like they're taking
So,
numbers.
I mean, if, I don't know, however you figure it out, I mean,
We
I'd
met-
like to get it going.
We're working on it, and we have two plans. I'd have to come back to you with a budget number and a contract that we would have to add to the budget if we're gonna contract a driver.
Is that the one senior you have now, is he a member of, does he come to the senior center all the time?
I don't know about all the time, but he's a member.
Oh, he is a member, so he's familiar with
Yes,
what's going on, all right.
but he's also retired and he doesn't wanna work 20 hours a week, which I get too.
Yeah, all right, anything else, Pat?
Yeah, I got some more.
All right, go ahead.
I just wanted to, because of the pandemic, we've been stale, I mean, everybody. I just want to get the things back moving again. Keith, the health fair, what are we doing with that?
What?
The health fair?
So the health fair has been, we've had a couple of meetings of the committee over the last couple months. We still have the date scheduled for the first Wednesday in October. The committee is looking at some different ideas on ways to maybe lessen the crowds and in the room at the same time and be more specific in what they're doing. So there's been some subcommittees that have there's been a subcommittee put together that's going to work on trying to come up with that new mission, visions, and objectives to move forward as they're going. I would think we would have something for you as to what our plan is probably within the next month.
Okay, because I was talking to some people in Glen Oaks.
Mhm.
And, I mean, they're all game. to
They've
get
been
this-
active, yeah.
Right, to get this thing going.
Yes. We have representatives from all of those groups that were a part of the health and safety fair, I think have been in attendance except for maybe one at our couple of meetings. So we have had some opportunity to get everybody together to kind of brainstorm and to come up with lists of what they want to see coming forward.
Okay, because I know we lost some people on that committee.
We did.
Retired.
Correct.
So did we replace those people by any chance?
So we've contacted, so each of the individual organizations, the way that I understand it, is they'll send a representative. So District 15 might have had somebody that was on it from before. They've sent somebody else. They have their PR person that's coming. We have staff that are there. All the different organizations, the fire departments. I think the only group we haven't seen might be the Bloomingdale Fire Department at one of our 2 meetings. So.
Okay. Good, just so long you're working on it. Sure. Okay, my next one is, what are we doing with our emergency response team? We have the same people on our emergency response?
Yeah, so I'll defer to George here, but
Talking about ESDA?
No,
no,
our
our emergency management,
management.
so in case of tornado, in
Yeah.
case of,
Oh.
right. So, I'll defer to George, but I just want to say, the village is one of the few communities in DuPage County that, actually employs a emergency management coordinator, you know, on a part-time basis. There's only one community in DuPage County that has a full-time person, but we're one of only a few. Usually it's handled by the police department or other divisions within the village. We have somebody dedicated 20 hours a week to our emergency management. So with that being said, George can update you on where we're at with that.
Don't we have Milton? Milton Township?
That's
No,
that's
this
CERT,
is-
and
this
that's
is
CERT.
ours, our own.
But you're talking about tornadoes and that.
Yeah, but if we have a tornado in town, right, it's our internal emergency management procedures that take over. We would then call CERT to come and assist, but it's setting up our emergency operations center, it's setting up the EOC with personnel, it's getting all of our drive-bys in, it's getting all the assessments in. So with that, we have our own internal, people to do that.
Okay.
But
thank
George, can you update you, Pat, on?
Yeah, it's like Doug said, and actually, and we talked about this earlier this week, a couple agencies have actually reached out to us because of what we have here for our coordinator. The DuPage County has changed over. What they did is they put all the emergency plans in what was called a SEP. They have switched that over to called a box system. During that transition, what we have done is we put our emergency plan on the S drive, so everybody in the village can get to that drive if they need to. Those plans tell every department what they should be doing in case of emergency, like a tornado and such. So that helps us out. And to what Chester was saying, it also tells us what other options are out there. Is CERT out there? Can we reach out to ILEAS for the state equipment, from the police department, from the streets department, IDOT, anything? All that is in the emergency plan, so it's important. In addition to that, the police department, we talk about training all the time. We do our active shooter training. Not only do we do our active shooter training, we do rescue training. So we reach out to, like Keith said, Glenside and Bloomingdale Fire Departments. They come out and they do rescue drills with us. The whole idea behind our training is so we can keep building off of it. So our next session that we do building off of that will be triage. So that brings in CERT and ESDA, because they will be the triage people that come out. And we can actually reach out to the hospitals for that too, to see if they want to be a part of it. So not only do we have a plan, but we also do some practical stuff to make sure we're ready for incidents like that.
Okay, I just want to know, because maybe, Mohammed, did you know that we had that in effect in the village? See, that's what I mean. I mean, if you can get some kind of, like, not an exercise, but an information, and give it to the board, how we proceed in this, because I know, and I'm sure Chester knows, and maybe probably know how we do this, but for a lot of other people, they don't know the procedure that if we had a tornado, how we go into effect, how we get our people going and reaching out to other people.
That's an excellent question. In what we can do, so in the police department annually, because of CLIA, we have to certify our officers. So we put it out on Power DMS. What I could do is I can reach out to Nicole and have Nicole put it on the Power DMS, or we can actually just give you guys it on a YouTube so you guys can see what we do, and then everybody can see, everybody in the board and the village employees can see.
Okay, good. That'll work.
Anything else, Pat?
Thank you, Chief. Yeah, I got, oh, Jesus, I got one more.
That's it. This is your last
And I'm
one.
done?
This is your last one.
How about that, huh? Maybe, you listen to him?
It's between you and.
Got other ones.
You and.
I know, but this is important stuff. I know what the other stuff is. I want to get this done.
Stop talking and get it done.
I am right now, wait, I'm looking there. We were gonna appoint the police commissioner.
Yes.
What happened with that?
We did.
Oh, we did?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
During the board meeting.
Who did we appoint?
Kevin Tierney, officer.
He was sitting in the audience with his wife. He was actually sitting out there.
Oh, my God.
it was number 10.
Okay. Okay.
So
Hey.
the resolution didn't name his name, it just said we were appointing a police commissioner.
You voted on it.
Weren't we supposed to vote on it?
We did.
You did already.
We did. Okay, well, let's forget about that.
Right.
That was a dumb move on me here. Okay. Hey, when I do something wrong, I say it. I want the board to consider, think about it, to go to the 5 commissioners. Now we appointed 1, so that gives us 3.
Yes, we are
I'd like to
proceeding
go
for-
to 5.
Yeah, we will,
if we
yes.
can.
Yes,
That way we'll make,
made 5, right.
Kevin is a 5-year person, right? Isn't he right now?
3.
Everything is 3 years.
Or
So
3 years,
all
I'm
appointments
sorry,
are 3 years, yes.
He's the third.
Because he's the interim now for the couple months, and then it's gonna be extended.
So
But he's full.
what we're gonna do is because the previous commissioner was to expire right around this time, you guys just voted to put him in a spot, but he actually doesn't get sworn in yet. So by the time he would get sworn in would be that small span that you're talking about, so we do not need to swear him in twice.
Right.
He's just gonna jump right into that spot, so we'll get him sworn in at our, the
May 5th.
May commission meeting, yes.
May 5th.
It would have been nice for you to introduce him
We
to
were,
us.
you guys went so fast. He actually, the Deputy Chief Bailey actually walked him out. That's when the
Oh.
last police officers walked out.
okay, I'm done. Thank you, Chief.
Mrs. Leak is here.
Mike Light is
Right.
next.
I'm done.
I was gonna comment on Pat, I like that idea, Pat, going with the 5-person panel on that. I do agree with you 100%. What did I have? I forgot what oh, yeah, senior help. Was Tanya here? Tanya, will you come up to the podium? It's your turn. I just want to personally thank you for the help that you gave one of my residents that was in a really bad situation. He came to me, you know, as a resident, and as a friend. We've created a friendship somewhat. And the amazing feel that you gave him after leaving, a little sense of hope. And I just wanted to say thank you very, very
Absolutely.
much. You do so much for our seniors.
Thank
And
you.
you take care of so much stuff that, I mean, I didn't know where to start. I mean, I just point a finger and go, see her, she's got all the answers. But I just wanted to say thank you for that. That's
You're
all.
welcome. Thank you.
You're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Well, thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
And then, the last one thing I had personally, under legal. Mayor, at the March 17th board meeting, Marie Schmidt advised the public, you wrote her a letter indicating you are seeking legal action against her for her position as a collector. I reviewed the video, and you said, I quote, "Proceedings have been started." What exactly does that mean?
Trustee Light, you can come to my office. We can.
Okay, all right,
Believe
all
me.
right.
I am very open, you know.
Have you
Anytime
sought
walk in,
board authorization
We
to
live next
bring
door.
legal proceedings against this official? Did you?
Yes, you can come as I mentioned, you know, we can talk.
All right, I was just curious if you want to answer that. Because I reviewed the current indemnification ordinance 179. The ordinance reads that and I quote, "The village shall be responsible for hold employees harmless from and pay for damages or monies which may be adjudicated." I'm sorry, I can't even see that one. Slow down a little. Assessed or otherwise levied against any village employee except as otherwise provided by law, so long as the employee is acting or was acting within the scope of his employment, and so long as the employee cooperates with the village in the defense of the action or actions or claims, employees shall have legal representation by the village in civil cause of action. I might have skipped something, sorry. This is what happens when I get wound up. Employees shall have legal representation by the village in any civil cause of action brought against an employee resulting from or arising out of performance of his duties except as otherwise provided herein. My question for the village attorney, who happens to be poor Peter here, does this ordinance apply to elected officials, and are elected officials considered employees?
The answer would be no and no. Elected officials are not employees, so that provision does not cover elected officials.
Based on that opinion, that elected officials are not employees and are not covered under an ordinance, I'm making a motion to authorize the village attorneys to research an ordinance that indemnifies elected officials and protects them within legal counsel, similar to our current indemnification ordinance. Could I get I make that motion. Can I get a second on that?
Well, I don't think you would need a motion.
Just,
If there's direction, if there's a consensus, I mean, we could put something together, we'll do some research on it,
okay.
if that's what the board wants.
Is that what you're asking?
Yes, I am
trustee?
asking that, yes.
Is the,
I'd like to know what the board thinks on that. I would like to have them go ahead and proceed to research that ordinance, to put something together for the indemnification.
for elected officials versus employees?
Right, yes, to add the elected officials, well,
To do a
yeah.
combination for both.
Yes,
Is that what you're asking?
yes.
Peter, do you think we can have that for the next board meeting? Some information?
Just, you want me to, information, or you want me to prepare it? And then you guys can decide whether or not.
I think that we probably need to come back to the cow with some ideas of what an ordinance might look like.
We can bring our research in a form of, something that can be passed at another meeting, but bring it to the COW to discuss.
I think we
The
need to,
framework.
I think there needs to be a discussion amongst the elected officials of.
Executive staff meeting, maybe?
No, about what you want to, what the research is out there, and if there's ordinances even available. That cover, right, elected officials as opposed to employees, and have some kind of discussion on what that looks like.
Okay, so we can bring back the results of our research.
Right.
Okay.
That'd be perfect, thank you.
What's next, Light?
I'm it.
That's it?
That's it
Okay.
for me.
And I want,
Mohammed?
and I want to add, that if employees involved in intentional act or dishonest, then board will not, or village will not give, legal help or counsel.
Well, I think that's part of it, that.
Part of,
that-
and
Well, I think that's part of the discussion
Right.
of separating out criminal acts versus
Right.
non-criminal acts.
Right.
Correct.
All right, Mohammed, you're next.
Thank you.
DM and C?
Yeah, so it's DuPage Mayors and Managers Conference. I heard that there was a DuPage Mayors and Managers Conference in Springfield. So did you go over there? Can you give us some?
I did not go, mayor went.
Oh, okay. Is it for managers as well, correct? So you are,
Yeah, mayor and I spoke, and mayor decided that I should stay here and be in charge of the village, and he went to Springfield.
oh, okay. So maybe, Mr. Mayor, can you give me some, what's the status like about LGDF funding? Do we get any?
We are talking with those people. There is a lot of grant, lot of money, and I talked with Mr. Flint, as well as I'm going to talk, Ms. Joanne. She was on vacation, so Ms. Joanne, please come to see me in my office. So
So which people, when you say you are talking to people?
means I went to Springfield for 1.5 days. I met with governors, president, chairman, senators. It was awesome
That's great.
meetings, lot of information. So I want to
Did you
talk
create
with,
any report which you can share with your trustees?
yeah, we are talking, I'm talking with, I talked with Mr. Flint and,
But Mr. Flynn didn't go. Did you go over there? or?
I was not in Springfield.
Okay, so you are going to transfer that knowledge to Mr. Flint?
No,
and
no,
then-
we will get further knowledge, because there is some information, that guy talked about, helping us financially, and he did not have his, business card with him and all the contacts, So he said he would send, to, her name is, secretary, I believe, Suzette. And I gave information to Mr. Flint, and I will give information to Ms. Joanne, and they will contact, and she has contacts, now.
And from that, the one grant that we are eligible for, from all that information, is actually kind of cool. It's a grant that allows us to assist electric vehicle manufacturer and electric vehicle component manufacturers with transitioning into the village. One of our new tenants of the yet-to-be-finished building over on Calvary is an electric vehicle component manufacturer. So we've sent that grant to them for us to try and work on together, to try and get some funding for them to help with their costs of moving their business from Carroll Stream to Glendale Heights.
Because one thing, it's just my statement or just what I saw, especially on the COVID, and there is a lot of grants coming for the tenants, for the renters, and I like the one which I'm reading, like 1,500 for water and sewer, and I also see there is like maybe 30,000 if you are back on your taxes but there is no grant. So basically we are rewarding for the people who are not paying taxes or who are not paying their bills. So we are here to give the money, but what about the people who comply, who paid their taxes, who pay their water bills on time? What kind of grant we have for them? There is none. And that's really makes no sense, because the more I see grant are those for those people, like tenants, but not for the people who are paying mortgages, and you cannot evict those rentals because, because of the COVID or something, but it makes really no sense. So did you, Mayor, talk about that point, that if we have anything?
Yes, I have answered very short. That is that our help to people who are not paying bills or other is based upon need, Needy people, we are taking care of that, number one. Number two, you mentioned there was one 150,000 grant that is for.
No, I never mentioned 150,000.
No, I'm going to tell you.
Just to correct the
mention
record.
you. No, I'm not, you are not, I don't need your correction. I'm adding that during my trip, there was $150,000 grant related to COVID. So I talked with Mr. Flint, and I will talk with Ms. Joanne. Probably, Mr. Flint said that we don't qualify for that, but I told him to give me his research so I can read, so I can see if we qualify or not. But there are a lot of grants, And we both, Mr. Flint as well as Ms. Joanne and Ms. Rachel, I have to talk with her too, There are a lot of grants. The thing is, we have to find ways, how we can fit in,
All right, so
For further, if you want, you can come to my office. It takes a lot of time. It's not like, we can discuss over here.
So I think the board should expect some kind of, maybe some presentation, some report from you.
Listen, Trustee Siddiqui, you are next door to me, So whenever you want.
When you say next door, meaning?
Means your office, my office, So it's
no,
not
I mean,
everything, we come.
I'm not talking about just myself, I'm talking about for the whole board.
Yeah, this is a request.
So it will be
open
better
request.
if the whole village and the board will, no, because just for myself, coming to your office and being honest to you, Mayor, I'm really scared of coming to your office by myself, because you can put allegations on me, oh, you come to my office for your wife's employment. So I don't want to do that. If I want to be coming to your office, I will be coming either in the presence of Doug or any of the employees. So that's my honest answer to you. I won't be coming to your office by myself. Sorry.
Mrs. Dickey, I respect your fear of unknown
Yeah.
and based upon nothing, but
No,
still
I
you
have
can
my
bring,
integrity.
you can bring 10, these 6, trustees, I don't mind you for that,
Well, for purposes of the Open Meeting Act, I'm gonna say don't bring all 6.
Definitely not.
Are you done?
Yes, I am
Okay,
done.
Pat's
Thank you.
got one more.
No, I'm before Pat. I'm before Pat now. Enough is enough.
You don't have to jump on me. Go ahead, say what you gotta say.
I have to scream to get attention over here. You know, it's difficult working with 5 men, I have to tell you. I can't understand why women marry more than once. But anyway. Here's what I wanted to talk about. This community garden. Enlighten me as a resident as well as a trustee. But let me tell you what I want to say first before you give me, your replies. A community garden is costing approximately $100,000. Now, what I want to know is, who's planting this garden? Who's going to weed the garden? And who's going to, wait, I don't want his answer yet. I want to ask you these questions first. I want to know who's going to enjoy all these fruits and vegetables. The reason I ask these questions is, for $100,000, do you know how many fruits and vegetables you could buy at Bailey's or at Jewel's? What? I mean, we're constantly talking about our budget and how we should handle our money. Most women do the handling of money in their homes, and maybe that's why this is on my mind. I mean, you people are wanting to spend $100,000 on a vegetable garden. Why can't give the money to these people and let them go to the store? It'll cost you a lot less than $100,000. We're talking $150,000 for a dog park. Yet we have all these dogs. What about these seniors who need a bus? I mean, you people have your head in different directions. We're supposed to be worrying about the residents, not the pets, not the vegetables. All this money that's being. You have any idea what that garden is? Wait, I'm not finished. All this money that's being spent. You're talking about, let's worry, it's our concern how the money is spent. I see a lot of waste of money here when we can be doing other things with it. You're spending quite a bit of money on fireworks 2 times instead of once. I mean, there's so many ways that you can eliminate all these expenses. I know I'm not the smartest person in the world, but I have to tell you, I've always run a house and I've always run a budget, and these are things that I have a problem understanding. We just elected a police commissioner. I never met the man. They said I voted for him. I don't even remember voting for the man. I don't know where all this is coming from. I'm not going through senility. I have to tell you this. I don't think I am. I mean, maybe I might sound like that, but I'm not going through senility. I know exactly what I'm doing all the time. I just want to know where you 5 men are coming from.
Keith, can you answer some of her questions on the community garden?
Let me,
You voted for
Mr. Pojek.
$150,000 dog
second.
park, though.
So the community garden, the concept of that garden is actually allow residents to be able to grow their own crops and to take care of that
Let
garden.
her know where the money came from.
The money came from the electric I'm gonna get this wrong, electric aggregation, so this was money
$100,000.
that was set aside from that was savings from the community and being given back to the community by having this garden. And so the concept of the garden is that residents would be able to rent a plot so that those that might not have the ability to have a garden or that want a bigger plot of land and to grow other things would have that ability. And so that's kind of what we're working on, is that part of it. It'll have an educational component. The committee that was formed has got some ideas on extra food that's grown and how to give it away to those that are in need. So I mean, there's a lot of positives that go with that. It's also an educational component for the school district. They're using it, or their plan is to use it to teach those that are from Glendale Heights that might not know what farmers do and how that has to actually have a plot that they can showcase and show, here's what we grow in from the state of Illinois.
No, I didn't feel like they could, you know,
yes.
I understand the community garden, I just don't feel like $100,000 could be spent elsewhere with people that need things. I mean, if somebody gave me $5,000 to go grocery shopping, I could do a lot of things with that. You've got 20 people,
I agree.
100,000.
I agree with you. That's why $150,000 for a dog park.
All right?
I agree
It's
with
the
you.
same thing. I think we're
Yeah,
losing
well-
something over here. We're not doing the thing.
like the
You know, we're
dog park?
wasting so much time arguing, we're not getting anything done. All right?
Keith,
That's all.
That's gonna go through the survey. We'll find out a
Keith?
lot from the residents.
Yes.
Are we gonna include District 15 on that garden? Because you said 16.
Well, it's District 16's property, so they have a plan. When we get the garden done, it'll be open for all residents and we'll certainly open it up to District 15
Okay.
for educational components. We're gonna open it up for ourselves as well. My PATH program will hopefully have a plot as well.
And, Mr. Trustee Pojek,
Go ahead.
I want to add on bus, you know, I have talked with Mr. Flint and Keith. We are working to get bus driver, and we will get that. Because we want to provide each and every service to our senior citizen, you know, no exemption, you know. There's no excuse for it.
Mary
They
has
don't
a
have, you know.
resident, senior, that, Dan Fisher, he wants to be a bus driver.
I gave Jennifer his name today
Okay.
and his phone number.
Is there anything else?
Great.
Motion to adjourn?
Oh, no, I want to talk, you know, she has, you know, question about, you know, police commissioner, you know. We have, just in our meeting, we have approved, you know, his name is Kevin Tierney. He's working as a sergeant with, I believe, some other village, you know. He's a police officer. He's a very young guy. He's a qualified person. He has experience, he has passion. And I talked with him. So he lives in Glendale Heights, Bardett Avenue. So, yeah. So if you want, we can bring him in next board meeting so you can talk and see him, you know. Right, Mr. Flint? So we can arrange, you know.
Yeah, and, you know, yes, we can bring him back to the next board
Right.
meeting and introduce him and.
Okay, is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Schmidt?
Yes.
Trustee Siddiqui?
Yes.
Trustee Light?
Yes.
Trustee Meritato?
Yes.
Trustee Pojek?
Yes.
Trustee Schroeder?
Yes.
Mayor Coker?
Yes.
Meeting is adjourned.
Good night.